Welcome to our public therapy, the show where we got problems and we're a little too open with them.
Right. We're doing a special episode today talking about pet peeves, trying to be in line with the main concept of our public therapy. This is the check in where we're going to tie in the concept of better mental health and well being with a little lighthearted episode to start. So rather than going straight for the juicy, meaty topics, we're just going to talk about things that greatly annoy you, but should probably slightly inconvenience you.
Absolutely, we'll add a little lightness, a little brevity. But to start with, I'm one of your hosts, Joe Jason.
I'm Harold Owens.
And I think we both got some pet peeves we can get into. So let's start with what is a pet peeve, right? So I think that there's difference between something that is ultimately like a pet peeve and something that you have a rightful reason to be angry at.
Validly concerning.
Because I think that pet peeves usually have some element of being petty. Like, kind of, it's in the name, it's a petty peeve.
Petty peeve. So let's give you an example of something that is not a pet peeve, as I brought this up out of context, but this will give context, okay? This is not a pet peeve, okay? We live in a somewhat gated community. It's a community with a gate, not really gated community. But there are gates, two of them. One to go into the neighborhood, one to go out of the neighborhood. For some reason, the one to go out of the neighborhood is almost always open. It's basically permanently in the open position. And then the entrance gate is like, I don't know, 50-50. Sometimes it's open, maybe all day, and then at some point in the night or the morning, it's shut. And you gotta use a little card to get in. Or you could just drive through the exit gate, and now you're in. So I don't understand the reasoning there. But the thing I thought was a pet peeve, but I realize now is a very valid concern, is when you're inside the neighborhood trying to go out and the entrance gate's closed, and then there's a car outside of that gate that wants to come in. You guys are both in a position of wanting to use that one open gate. Now, I would argue the person inside the neighborhood trying to go out actually has the right to use that gate because it is an exit gate.
I think
it's also on the right side of the road, so just like traffic laws.
No, you're just being logical and straightforward. You're exiting through the exit lane, and somebody is illegally and wrongfully entering through the exit. Now, I'm guilty of this as well because it's really annoying, and sometimes, even when I use the card, it doesn't always take immediately to open up the entrance gate.
You gotta be close enough. And then you gotta wait. It's like the slowest little rotor motor thing going on. But I assume you do it when there's not a car already in the lane that you're driving to.
Absolutely, you check first. And so is it something that I understand the reasoning for? Is it kind of not the best excuse that people like myself do it because we're just a little bit lazy? Yes. But there's a difference between taking advantage of like an opportunity and then endangering yourself and others by like breaking the rules.
Right. So me being annoyed at the like 2 or 3 times I've been that guy trying to get out of the neighborhood while someone outside either doesn't have the card, so like probably shouldn't even be here, but like maybe just isn't willing to take the card out or forgot it. That person on multiple occasions has just gone through the gate while I'm like within maybe 2 car lengths of said gate. So basically I have to stop. Like if I continue driving, we end up at this impasse where like you just can't leave. So either I just stop and let them go through this exit gate while like I was already on the way out, but I stop and let them do that. Or I do the bad idea, which I have had now several times, of just going. Just don't even stop, man. I think I have the right of way, and maybe I could get some juicy progressive money out of it.
Want to play a little,
Allegedly.
want to play some chicken with
Right.
their willingness to like
Yeah.
get in.
You you want to avoid using the key card that bad? Well, now you're in a dangerous game of gate chicken.
At some point, the pettiness of that does make it a pet.
Okay. So
Might make it a
yeah.
bit of a pet peeve.
So, but by definition, that I don't think is a pet peeve. That's a very valid concern. It does annoy me greatly, but for my safety, I take that L. If I see someone out there and I'm like on the way down, I'll just wait because I know what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
They're gonna drive through the exit gate like it's an entrance. So just wait for them. It's just a few seconds of my life, and I guess not that important.
Road rage is a great source of like anger and pet peeves.
Okay, so that's the non-example. Not pet peeve. I think that would be a valid concern. Can you give me something that actually is a pet peeve? Something that's not actually endangering you or someone else?
Sure, something that's just completely petty that gets on my nerves and makes me angrier than it should. And that would be like mouth noises. And
Like,
nah, not beatboxing, not people who are trying to do something musical.
okay, that
Like,
kind
that's-
of noise.
Yeah, that's something where, depending on the talent of the person, can either be very pleasant or like somebody playing an instrument poorly. I don't necessarily want to hear it, but I can respect it.
Okay.
It's
Technically, these are mouth noises.
true, but more so it's whenever there's just like some really juicy mouth noises
Okay.
that
The
people are like
moist
yeah,
noises.
the moist ones. A lot of the stuff that probably some people love and gets made into ASMR, your
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's just because that's something that seems like they're not being conscientious of the people around them. And so ultimately is a big deal? No, but for some reason it just irks me